topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Welcome to my radio and TV show, Debi Changes Lives. I'm Debi, your certified holistic health coach. I revitalize people's lives by helping them identify the root cause of their health and mindset issues and create a custom, natural, holistic strategy that addresses them in the areas of mind, body, and soul. As a health coach, I'm not allowed to say that I heal, treat, cure, prevent, or diagnose any diseases. I can certainly make your body more efficient by reducing symptoms. You'll feel better, be more productive, and enjoy life more. Not many people have released 70 pounds, had a health transformation, and kept fit and trim for over a decade. I have, and I have staying power. And it's actually been over 11 years. And at the age of 51, I became a half marathon runner when I couldn't run from childhood, adulthood due to food problems. And I've done 8 of them. Mindset's the key to lasting change. As a certified holistic health coach, I do revitalize people's lives in many different areas of health and mindset. I guide them to clean, toxic-free foods and high-quality essential nutrients. My coaching is for optimizing your health, releasing weight efficiently if needed, and enhancing your mindset. With my mindset coaching, I help my clients recognize that their thoughts, feelings, and emotions drive their actions and results. Sometimes it can be good, sometimes it can be bad. That's why it's crucial to have a positive mindset in life to succeed. It's also imperative to reduce those low vibrational energies such as fear, frustration, and doubt, because they're going to slow you down and get you stuck, all physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Like a hot air balloon that has balances, I help my clients release those emotional balances so they can reach up to a higher, happier, healthier life. And in turn, they're releasing their stress and reshaping their core beliefs. That's what I do as a coach. And you will see and feel the differences with my coaching programs. Ask me about them at my complimentary consultation button on my link tree, which is at Debi Changes Lives, DebiChangesLives and victoryes.com/linktree, LINKTRE. And I will guide you to a happier, healthier life. Today, I'm really excited to have Amelia South, the owner of Black Sun Farm. She loves getting people excited about weeds in the backyard. And she helps people naturally heal their symptoms with nutrition and herbalism. Amelia actually overcame candida and rosacea naturally without any conventional medication. She has been foraging wild food since 2006, and she got certified as a herbalist in 2018. She's known for her grounded, earthy approach. She actually hikes barefooted in the forest and, lives off the land. And she encourages others to naturally heal themselves with medicinal power of food and herbs, similar to what I do. Recently, this is kind of exciting, she got her cosmetic manufacturing license and is now shipping products to stores in Connecticut, and she's going to expand nationwide. Today, we'll be talking about wild foods and healing herbals. So let's welcome Amelia South, the owner of Black Sun Farm and a certified herbalist. Amelia, welcome to my show.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here too. I love your story. You started foraging for wild foods in 2006. And personally, I know that if we do this on our own and we tramp on trails that are not really meant to trample on, you're trampling on the soil and disturbing what's called the biofilm. And I recently found out that, because I was asking, why are these cactuses dying? It's because people were getting too close to the cactus and destroying the biofilm. And so I noticed, you forage. How do you safely do this? Well, you respect the natural balance of nature.
So, one of the best ways to get started with foraging wild foods and medicinal plants is to look up in your region, um, what are the invasive plants? Like, that's a really good way to get started. Like, which plants that grow around you are either invasive or what we call naturalized instead of native? There's a difference between native plants and naturalized plants. The
Mm.
native plants are the ones that have been growing here, in the United States for thousands of years. Naturalized plants are things like dandelions, plantain, red clover, white clover, plants that came over with the European colonization and then they basically said, "Hey, we like it here," and spread all over the place.
Okay.
So naturalized plants are usually pretty safe. You're not going to disturb the ecosystem if you're harvesting naturalized plants. And then invasive plants, the in all honesty, the vast majority of invasive plants across the country have medicinal value, if not edible uses too. So that's why I suggest you look it up. Like, I'm in Connecticut. I think you're in California. So it's
Yes.
really it's not well, it's mostly different plants where I am versus where you are. I've been to Southern California, so I know you guys have dandelions down there.
Oh, yeah, we do. I have in my backyard.
Everybody has dandelions. Dandelions are out there, and then I'm sure you've probably got plantain, even if you don't recognize the name of what it is. Plantago species, those are that has been called white man's footprint because it followed white people across the entire nation as we spread. Um, Dandelions were brought over from Europe as a food source, as a food and medicinal source. And I think dandelions and there are a couple of native varieties of dandelion in the United States. They grow in like weird mountain range areas. They're different than what we're used to. Like, it still kind of looks like a dandelion, but it's not. Like, Torexicum officinale is the one that everybody usually pictures as a dandelion because that's crazy. A lot of people think it's invasive, but it's not. It's naturalized. And again, because it's such a viable and wonderful medicinal and food plant, it's one of the first things that I talk about, and many other herbalists like me talk about dandelion because we love it so much.
Well, it does do so many things. Now, I actually studied, essential oil, so I know a little bit about plants, and not like you do. But I started. We have a tortoise. He loves dandelions, by the way.
Oh, I bet. I
The
bet.
leaf version of it. But for us, it helps with our digestive system, the liver. It brings down inflammation. It's probably a lot more than it does. It has vitamins in it as well.
Oh,
But you
yeah.
would know about it than I can.
High in vitamins A, C, K. The
Mhm.
the leaves help with kidney support. The root helps with liver support. Have you ever had roasted dandelion root tea?
No, I haven't. What's it like?
Oh my gosh, it's one of my favorite things in the world. Like, I have a cup every night. I have my tea water on low brewing right now so that I can have it when we're finished. What you do is anywhere you find dandelions, look for some place that obviously isn't sprayed with pesticides.
That's
Um,
really hard to do in California.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you're in a city area, but if you can find some that have in a field or somewhere, it doesn't matter how small they are or how large they are, as long as they're dandelions, and you dig up the roots. The best time to do this is in autumn. So, all over the United States, basically from, like, early September through November, is usually the best time because that's when they're at their sweetest.
Oh my
They're
goodness,
starting to the tops are starting to die down, and they're putting all of their energy into the roots to make it through the winter.
that
So
makes a lot of sense.
the roots are sweeter, and they're also higher in inulin, which is a prebiotic fiber that
Mhm.
helps our gut. So I usually dig up my dandelion roots in the autumn, and depending on how big they are, how thick the root is, like if it's like the size of your pinky or smaller, they're gonna roast a lot faster. But you chop the roots off, you wash them up, chop them up into little chunks, stick them on a baking tray, and you put them in your oven at 350 degrees. It can take anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes, again, depending on how thick they are. Little tiny ones might burn. You don't want to burn them. But what happens is it roasts the roots slowly, and the kitchen starts to smell like chocolate because it changes the
Oh,
flavor. It brings out the sugars in the root, and it smells and tastes very chocolatey. They've been used as a coffee substitute for the last couple thousand years. Like if people run out of coffee, or if you have very little coffee left, you can dig up some dandelion roots and roast the dandelion roots, and the flavor is so similar that you mix that with a little bit of coffee, and it's like, oh, it tastes like I'm drinking coffee, so it's okay.
but does it taste
But
like you're drinking hot chocolate, maybe?
it's similar. It's
Oh,
similar, and it's just a very sweet, lovely flavor. And what I like to do is, after they've roasted, you let the roots cool till they're totally cool. That way, you know for sure if they're dry. You want them dry enough to like crack, and then you can keep them in a glass jar, basically indefinitely. They're usually good for a couple of years. But you take like a spoonful of that, put it in a little coffee grinder or something, so you can grind it up really fast. And I like to put it in a French press. So you put it in the French press with boiling water over that, and you let it sit for a good at least 5 minutes. Like, the longer you let it sit, the more medicinal and healthy it'll be. But as long as it sits for like 5 minutes, the flavor comes out beautifully. You can also buy roasted dandelion root tea. I think traditional medicinals company has some, and I've had that, and it's decent. It's just nothing compares to the stuff you dug up yourself. So anyway, I after I pour that out into my mug when it's all done, I like to put a little tiny bit of stevia powder and a little tiny chunk of grass-fed butter, and I stir that
cool.
in, and
Yeah.
it tastes like a latte. It's so good. It's
Well, that
amazing.
that sounds really good. Now, does it also help I drink chamomile tea. Does it
Mhm.
help you, relax and sleep and things?
It I feel like it helps me relax, but that's just because I'm used to the flavor and I love it so much. The reason I drink it in the evening is because the hour of your liver being awake and functioning is usually between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. And so if people want to support their liver function for whatever reason, I usually say, hey, take your liver support in the evening, and then it'll just give it a little boost for the night. And now, when you roast the root, it doesn't maintain as much of the medicinal qualities that are helpful for the liver as if you didn't roast the root. Like if you want to have a really strong liver tonic, you want to dig up the roots and chop them up and make like a tincture fresh with that. It is going to be very bitter, but that bitter flavor is really, really great for your digestion. It gets your digestive juices going.
Yeah, and, I take herbals too. I haven't tried yours, but I take herbals too. Some of them don't taste all that great, I gotta tell you that much. But they really do help really fast, and I appreciate that.
Mhm.
Um, but when it comes to, working with your gut, because 'cause we're kinda talking about that now, and taking things in the evening, it's better to do things closer to when you go to bed, because when you sleep is when your body restores itself and rebuilds stuff,
Yeah.
your gut and everything else in your body system.
Mhm.
And when you get up, you feel better. So that's really important, what you just mentioned, to drink your
Yeah.
tea at night for the liver. So
Yep.
that's a great hint. Now, we both agree upon this. And, Hippocrates was the first to say, let thy food be thy medicine, let thy medicine be our food. And we both believe and have similar approaches, regarding the gut. And you've already mentioned something already. And it's really important to understand, and this is the question I'm going to ask, so you can people can hear your answer. How does food function as medicine, and what is the role does it play with gut health?
Well, all right. So I say food is your medicine. Everybody says food is your medicine. So think about how you feel. Just for yourself. How do you feel after Thanksgiving? You've eaten Thanksgiving dinner. You've said, the heck with it. It's the holidays. I'm going to indulge in whatever I want. You've had the turkey and the cranberry sauce and the the sweet potato pie, and then you've eaten the apple pie and the lemon pie, all the desserts, and you're very, very full, very, very overstuffed. Some of it might have been good quality food. Some of it might have been, Aunt Clara's, marshmallow salad or whatever. And
Yeah,
you're,
exactly.
you're eating it because she made it and not because it's good for you. So, but think about how your body feels after you've eaten that kind of thing. I don't want to just compare it to fast food, because that's kind of like, everybody knows fast food is not good for you. Everybody knows that. Even the people that eat fast food all the time know that it's really not good for them. They're doing it anyway. It's a choice. But when you eat a lot of something that is very heavy, or
Mhm.
it just think of how that makes your body feel
Well,
versus,
it slows down your metabolism,
yeah,
right? And so
exactly.
and so for me, I don't do that Thanksgiving. I moderate what's on my plate. And I'm not too worried about aunt whoever made something. If I don't want to eat it because it's going to make me feel well, I won't eat it.
Oh yeah, no, I'm the same way. It's like, I'm not, I make the healthy stuff, but there's,
Yeah, but
if you're clever, you can make stuff taste really, really good and still be healthy. You just
yeah,
have to know your
exactly,
ingredients.
exactly. And that's what I do.
Yeah.
And but yeah, when it's the carbs and the sugars and everything else, everyone craves that because sugar rewards your, reward center. And that's why people are like, this tastes really good. And they want to eat more and they want to eat more and they want to eat more. Well, you're going to be slowing down your metabolism and
Yeah.
other body systems, including your hormones. And you're gonna go, ugh, I don't feel good.
So the point, when you eat more whole foods kind of things, like,
Mhm,
whether that is grass-fed meat or any kind of meat that you're getting,
yeah,
eggs, nuts, seeds, vegetables, fruits, all of those things are giving your body the vitamins and the minerals that you need to function. So many people in this country, and I'm talking millions of people, are deficient in some level of minerals, and
oh, they
probably,
are.
and a lot of times that they're deficient in vitamins, and it's because they're eating a lot of the processed foods, and
Yeah,
not just like, I'm talking like highly processed foods. If you go to the freezer section and buy the chicken nuggets and the hot pockets, those are
mhm,
processed foods just as much as going to the fast food restaurant is processed foods. Even bread is, highly processed food with all the extra preservatives. It's
yes.
just that people don't always realize what they're putting into their body. Whereas,
And
even if you can't afford like the high quality organic stuff, even if you can't do that, I understand some people don't have that kind of money. Just
mhm,
getting vegetables. I would 1,000 times rather see somebody eating canned vegetables than like a pizza from Pizza Hut or something. At least it's a vegetable. You know what I mean? The quality sometimes is, you have to do what you have to do according to your budget. But the food choices, there are ways to make food choices with,
mhm,
the higher vitamin and mineral content foods, vegetables mostly, that you can eat, that are going to make you feel better and increase your body. Actually, there's one thing I want to mention now, because I figured this out myself. I've been eating super healthy. Like, I've been a farmer for 10 years, an organic farmer for 10 years, and
mhm.
a wild forager forever. So I eat really, really healthy all the time. And I usually cook my foods in cast iron if I'm going to cook. So, because, hey, I'm getting the extra iron. I turned out to be anemic. I was having all kinds of problems, and last October, I went into the doctor's office because I said, "I can't deal with this anymore. I need you to test all my vitamin and mineral levels." I just told the doctor what to do.
Mhm.
And but he did. They gave me the tests, and the test results came back a couple days later, and they said, "Yeah, you have anemia." So I was racking my brain, like, how do I get rid of the anemia? This is ridiculous. I eat plenty of meat. I'm going over in my head all these foods that I eat on a regular basis that are high in iron. And
Mhm.
it turns out, I followed somebody else online that it knows about the movement of iron in the body, and that's what was going on. I wasn't getting the right minerals, to move the iron from the food into the places in my body where it needed to go. And that's
Yes.
so critical. And like, it was something I hadn't even thought of. So
Yes.
in all honesty, the best, like if anybody's listening right now, if you're losing your hair, if you're a woman losing your hair like crazy, which is what was happening to me, you might be iron deficient. You should go get your iron levels checked.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
but the best thing you can do for this, in all honesty, is eat liver and onions. And I know that sounds gross, but eating beef liver or calf liver with onion. The onions are high in vitamin C because
Hmm.
you need vitamin C to get the iron absorbed into your body. And
Hmm.
the iron, there's the liver is high in iron and copper and a bunch
Okay.
of other minerals that we don't get a lot of. So,
Yes.
grandma and grandpa eating liver and onions once a week had the right idea.
Yeah, yeah. And I have solutions for that too.
Yeah.
So for instance, really our foods have declined 70, 80% in mineral and vitamin content for the last 50 years. And that's why we're having so many problems as due to you know, the minerals not coming from the mountains where they should be into our farmlands. I don't know where you live, but dam water, we need it, but it's
Mhm.
causing issues with our soils. And that's why our produce and also our meats could be low on mineral content. Um, I found, when I lost my initial 50 pounds, I was dead tired with energy. And I was taking vitamins and minerals, but they weren't doing anything for me. But when I
Mhm.
found this new program, which is called 90 for Life, it has 60 minerals in it that come from our prehistoric plant life. That is
Oh, good. That's the important thing because the synthetic minerals don't get absorbed as much as the
no,
food
they're
source
colloidal.
ones.
They're
Yeah.
colloidal minerals,
Mhm.
and are mined and purified and put in their products. And all of a sudden, within 4 days, I had a natural sense. I don't need to go to bed at 8 o'clock anymore. I wasn't so exhausted. So my whole point is that yes, we are mineral deficient in the United States. I don't probably all over the world, but my whole point is minerals are so important, and 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 the products I use have cofactors in it. You're mentioning vitamin C is very important. All
Yeah,
this stuff has cofactors for everything to work, and people tend to get healthier due to it.
that's good.
So it's just a nice additive a supplementation to have because for you, you had this little hole in your body. It wasn't really a big hole where your iron wasn't being absorbed
Mhm.
properly. But that's what supplementation, a good high quality supplementation does, is it fills those holes that our foods don't give us. So that's my 2 cents worth.
No, that's fine, yeah.
But we need to find, like you said, grass-fed beef, pasture-raised chickens,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
wild cut salmon if it's really well cut.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yep.
Grass-fed butter, and I stay away from the oils personally, and I am gluten-free. And
Oh,
and
yeah.
as I didn't and people ask me, "Why did you go gluten-free?" Well, I was on a keto program, I was only allowed to have a half a piece of bread. And I got to the point like, "Why bother?" And I switched to salads instead of eating sandwiches.
Mhm. Yeah, but wheat, I could rant for 2 hours about wheat in this country.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare. That probably the best thing you could do for your health, honestly, is stop eating wheat. People come
Yes.
asking me all the time, like, "How do I stop this? How do I stop that? How do I?" And I'm like, the first question I ask them is, "Do you eat wheat? Do you eat wheat products?" And some people don't even understand what that is. They're like, "Well, I don't eat grain." And I'm like, "Are you eating bread? Are you eating pasta? Are you eating
Yeah.
anything made with wheat?" And there are people out there that don't know bread is made with wheat. They're like, "Well, it's bread." And I'm like, "That's from wheat."
Wheat.
So,
Yes.
yeah, I have to explain this. It's an education thing, a knowledge gap going on there. But just quitting the wheat can help you lower your blood sugar and, lose a bunch of weight. It's amazing what they do to the wheat in this
Yeah,
country.
and what it does is that because it's GMO and everything, the villi in your intestinal tract that goes all the way down for your throat, all the way to your elimination system, you know, it's moving your food along. It's also capturing um, particles and things like that to absorb. The problem is wheat will corrupt, gluten products will corrupt the wheat so it looks like really shortened, really short little, like a CNN is really shortened. And you're going to be eating more foods, you're going to be taking more medication, and you'll be taking more supplementation because you're not absorbing things very well. And that's what's nice
Yeah.
about, having a product that brings the villa back to life, so to speak. Over time, it is like a light switch. But you begin to be absorbing things more properly, and it makes you feel better. And that's why, being gluten-free is so crucial. But people are so used to, the bread and everything else. Well, there's, cauliflower rice. If that's something we can
I've
have.
tried that. I made for dinner tonight because over here we just had dinner. I made seafood chowder with no dairy. I used coconut milk. I used some arrowroot powder to thicken it up, and it was. I was like applauding. My boyfriend gave me a standing ovation. It was so delicious. So I
Yeah,
made an amazing chowder, and then on top of that, I made you want to roll biscuits with almond flour.
yeah.
Um,
I use coconut flour. But yeah, it's, because I have somebody in the house that's tree
oh, okay, yeah,
nut allergy.
yeah.
So I do everything coconut flour. But yeah, it makes a big difference in our lives.
Yeah,
And
and it's so filling too. If you
yes,
think about it, like how full do you feel if you eat a piece of toast versus eating
mhm.
something that's made with almonds or coconut or something? It's like it's so much more filling. You need a lot less of it to fill your body up.
Yeah, and the
So,
whole foods you were talking about before, really, you need to eat the whole foods for a reason because it gives
yeah,
you nice fiber, it gives you all the vitamins, minerals. Some of them will give you, some of our mushrooms are adaptogenics as well as they have probiotics in it too. And so it's better to eat your whole foods. And yes, stay away from pesticides. And that's really hard to do. Maybe not so hard for you because you have your own farm. But for me, people use Roundup for the lawns, and I'm
yeah,
running by, and and I'm like, I'm inhaling it in the air. So it's not just what you eat; it's what's in the air.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
yes,
I have to fight honestly, I'm not in the middle of the woods, unfortunately. I wish I was, but I'm close enough to a road that I have to fight with, like, the town putting Roundup on the other side of the street. It's like, "No, hello, I'm an organic farm. Get that away from me."
yes, maybe you could do a restraining order. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I'm gonna put a big giant sign out there that says, "Get the heck away from my property."
Exactly. Now, we've been talking a lot about the gut and the liver and things like that. But why don't you share some common ailments and a natural remedy that our listeners can use on a daily basis?
Oh, okay, yeah, absolutely. So d would you like me to go with things that people are definitely gonna know or things that people can easily find?
Probably
Would you
eat
prefer?
things that people can easily find because I'm in Huntington Beach and people are in cities and then, that type
Okay.
of thing.
So, there is again that one if you're capable of finding an area that hasn't been sprayed heavily with any kind of pesticides and you can forage, dandelions 100% because everybody's gonna be able to recognize a dandelion. There's another plant, because you can eat dandelions, you can make dandelion fritters with the tops, you can make salads with them.
Yes.
I eat them raw sometimes, and then the root, like I just explained to you, dandelion flowers are delicious. Um, there is a plant called plantago,
Oh,
and that
plantain?
it's not the same as like the banana looking thing.
Okay, a different one. Okay.
So plantain grows on the ground. It's you're gonna see it in like your driveway near the road. You don't want to harvest it near the road, obviously, but in places with heavily compacted soil. So if you're ever on a walking trail somewhere, look for the plantain in the not too far from the parking lot, probably honestly, where people are treading a lot. It's got these wide round leaves, and there's actually 2 varieties of the wide round leaves and then the long skinny ones. You can look up a picture, you can Google what does
I
plantain look
think
like.
I think there's an app, if I remember from my
Yeah,
essential oil.
there's a couple of apps. This
Tell me
thing
what
is
the
is
plant.
very, very, very easy to find. It is one of the most common plants in the country.
Mhm.
And that so the first thing I want to tell you is the Plantago major, which is the round leafed one. The little seed stalks that come up. Have you ever heard of psyllium husk fiber? Like
Yes.
people that eat poorly tend to
Yes.
buy these big things of psyllium husk fiber and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to put this in my water and I'll drink it and then I'll poop and it's fine." And it's psyllium husk fiber actually just comes from those plantain seeds that are absolutely everywhere. So, it's high in fiber. But the leaves themselves, you can eat the leaves. They're not the most delicious thing in the world, but those leaves are my number one medicinal, like bar none, always. And that is because if you take the leaf, if you get a bug bite or a bee sting, you're stung by any kind of thing, something is itchy on your skin, you take one of those leaves, you pick it, you chew it up in your mouth really quick, and then you kind of spit it out and put that on the bug bite or the bee sting or whatever it is, and it stops the pain and the itching in like a minute.
Wow.
So if you get a scrape or a cut, if you've got a little one running around and they fall and skin their knee, you find some plantain, you pick that leaf, you chew it up, you put it on that skinned knee, and within a couple of minutes, that kid is done crying because it stopped bleeding, it stopped the pain. It's amazing. It
Does
is
it help like
absolutely.
does it help poison oak or things like that?
Does it oh, yeah, it can help the itching. It can help the itching with poison oak and poison ivy, yeah. It's
Mhm.
not gonna necessarily heal it. One of the best things for poison oak or poison ivy is, there's 2 plants that I would use for those. Jewelweed is one, which is a wild impatiens. They're rampant around here. I'm not sure if jewelweed grows out, in California, but,
Either.
another remedy for if you get poison oak, if you recognize what a regular oak tree looks like a real oak with the acorns and everything, find a real oak tree and find a branch, just whatever branch you can reach, a little skinny one, and cut it off. And then you take a knife or something and you peel the bark off of the oak into put it into a pot with some water and simmer it for like half an hour. Then you strain the bark out, and that water you just made a decoction with oak bark. You put a washcloth or something in that water and put it all over the poison oak. And what
Oh,
it does is
wow.
it'll dry up the poison oak rash. So it in about a week or so, it'll help dry it all up.
That's
Make it
cool.
nice
I
and
like that
strong.
one. I like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
tip that you just gave.
Yeah. So that's another one. And I'm trying to think. There's stuff in your spice cabinet that's medicinal. Like I think everybody knows that ginger is medicinal. If you ever get
Yes.
an upset stomach, eat some ginger.
Yes.
Whether that's fresh ginger, candied ginger. If you're sick, if you're dealing with circulation problems, if you're really cold because it's wintertime,
Yes.
drink some ginger tea. That's going to help increase your circulation. It also helps reduce inflammation. So, especially for women, for some reason, like women's bodies respond stronger to ginger than men's even. So,
That's cool. Yeah, I
yeah.
know that if I put ginger essential oil on my palm in the wintertime while I'm skiing, it just warms up my hands so I don't get so cold.
Hmm.
So yeah, so it's the same exact same thing idea. But ginger tea is great for the gut. I
Oh
think
yeah.
fresher the better than what you can
Oh
get now.
yeah. Fresh is amazing. I'm just saying, like, I don't know who's listening right now. If all you've got is that powdered ginger in your cupboard, just remember that's medicinal. Half the stuff in your herb cabinet, if you've got anything in your herb and spice cabinet, is medicinal. Actually, pretty much everything in there is medicinal in some fashion. You could
Yeah,
ask me about what does this do? What does this do? What does what, and
yeah.
they're all great to work with.
And with spices, they normally help your metabolism too, especially if they're like like a cayenne pepper
Yeah,
or
they can. Yeah, the warming
curry
spices
and
can
things like
increase
that.
your metabolism. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Anything, they're all great for winter time. I don't know how cold it is where you are, but it's been in like the 20s here. So it's time for ginger and turmeric and cardamom and cinnamon and all those great herbs, to
Yeah,
warm your body up.
yeah. Well, no, it's only the coldest it is in the morning is 40, but it gets up to 60. And that's kind of cold for Huntington Beach. So, anyways, but that's the way it is during right
Yeah.
now. And we both are nature lovers. I gotta tell you that much. I'm a person that loves ecotherapy. I actually am a person that prefers to not work out in the cave of a gym. I
Yeah,
go
I
running
prefer to be outside.
outside.
Yep.
Because I'm absorbing that nice warm sun, plus I get natural vitamin D, which helps with
Yep.
mood. And what's great that where I live, and I know you live, but you have a really beautiful forest. Okay.
Yep.
I can go venture, close to the beach. I can go to the mountains. I go to the desert. So I have multiple environments, at my disposal within an hour or two if I need to. But when you're out in these environments, it's not just you're out in these environments in the sun, you're out in these environments experiencing it. And that's why I
Yep.
call it ecotherapy. You're experiencing the sounds of whatever's going on, whether it's, ocean lapping or the creeks, making the noise, going down the stream, even the leaves in the trees in the
Yep.
forest. You're experiencing the smells of pine versus the beach of the salty water.
Yep.
And you're experiencing the vivid colorness of whatever the landscape offers you, and the animals and the sounds and everything. And they kind of
Yeah.
just bring down that city noise and
Yeah.
replace it with a nice calming, cool, um, gentle, soothing sounds of real life, real nature, earthy nature.
It brings you back to your roots,
It brings
is
you
what it
back to
is.
your roots, yeah.
Yeah.
And and of course, grounding, like you said, for your grounding, right?
Oh, yeah.
You
Yep.
can ground at the beach, just walking in the beach sand. You can ground on your lawn, as long as it's not artificial. You can ground, in the forest and everything else. But the whole thing is that all this stuff kind of makes your body feel better. It'll function better, circulate your blood and lymph better, and it does wonders for your soul. I would like you to talk about, you know, forest therapy, which is really where everyone got this idea from, and then all of a sudden it kind of
Yep.
branched out to a whole bunch of different environments, and how bringing nature calms us, as I really explained, and how they can do it on a routine basis, even though they may not be in these environments. They may be city bound for all I know.
Yeah. Well, so forest bathing therapy, I actually am certified in that, for forest bathing therapy. It's
Cool.
fantastic. There are places I know in Japan they've got indoor forest bathing therapy places, which is amazing. I would love to open one of those up here. But like for example, if you're stuck inside, if you have to be stuck inside, try to see if you can carve out just like 10 or 15 minutes of your day. One of the things that you can do easily indoors is keep a few house plants. There are some very, very easy house plants. Like even if you have a brown thumb and you're afraid you're going to kill it, like as long as you can remember to water this thing once or twice a month, a little bit, it'll probably be fine. So things like let's see, a spider plant. There's all kinds of cacti, snake
Fine,
plant.
okay.
Spider plants are so easy. Like I have one that I neglect the heck out of, and if you have cats, your cat can eat a spider plant. It's not going to hurt it.
And I
Um,
have paper, a paper. They have, I think they're called paper leaf.
Paper white thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. The lily type thing.
I don't
Any
really
of
know.
them.
They kind of look like a little palm tree, but it has a paper bark on it, and it's really
Oh,
thin. And
okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
there's a million different places you can go. You can probably even buy. I hate to tell anybody to shop at Walmart, but if you're shopping at Walmart, you can buy houseplants at Walmart even. So,
yeah.
keeping a few houseplants helps. You can talk to your houseplants, absolutely, because they listen to you. I am a huge believer, and it's whether you believe it or not, plants speak. Plants can talk with you and communicate with you. You can communicate with them. I have some plants. I'm keep turning around behind me because of the house plants are right over here by the window, and there some of them are sassy, some of them are friendly. Some of them do better inside, some of them do better when I put them outside, and some of them, yell at me if they wanna be watered. So, you get to that point, but anyway, get a couple of houseplants and find, 1 or 2 essential oils if you can, like bottles of essential oil. Like, go to a health food store and just smell the testers until you find something that you really like. Something that smells a little bit earthy is gonna be really nice,
Okay.
whether that's like a cedar, Himalayan cedar, or a sage, or balsam fir, or let's see, the copaiba, I think is another one all those earthy kind of foresty type smells. Um, and also another one that lightens your spirits is citrus. If that's like, because I know citrus grows down there, so citrus might be a natural scent to
Yeah.
be helping
Furs
helping your
are wonderful,
moods.
furs and
But
things.
so you don't need to get a diffuser necessarily. All you really need is some kind of oil. I usually keep a little thing of almond oil, but you can olive oil, any kind of oil, coconut oil will work, because you want something that is going to dilute those essential oils if you put them on
Yes,
your skin. You don't want
yes.
to put essential oils directly on your skin.
You're right
So
on that one.
yeah,
Yes.
so you like a little dribble of the regular cooking oil, and then a couple of drops of the essential oil, and then you can just rub that together, on your wrist, or even on your neck, or somewhere that you're gonna smell it, and then just sit quietly with your plants. Put something on, probably YouTube, put nature sounds. If you've got a white noise machine that can do white noise, like the forest sounds, anything like that. And just sit for 10 minutes and think it, just pay attention to your surroundings. Listen for what you want to listen to. uh, Imagine there's like a light coming from your chest expanding outwards and enhancing your ability to sense the plant life. That plant is a living thing, and you'll eventually get to the point where you are communicating with your houseplants, and you are the crazy person just like me talking to your houseplants, and it doesn't matter because nobody is there watching you or caring. So that's one thing you can. I mean, if you're indoors, if you are able to be outdoors, absolutely get outdoors as much as possible. What they call it is a sit spot, and what you want to do is probably just 10 minutes of your day, go to your sit spot. And it doesn't have to be the same spot every day, but find a nice quiet place where you can sit and just, maybe close your eyes and listen,
Listen.
smell, breathe, take a couple deep breaths and feel. Think about what you're smelling, think about what you're hearing,
And how
that's
you're enjoying it, right? And what,
exactly. And the longer you do it, the longer you want to do it.
yeah.
It's I'll tell you, like when I first started doing it, and there's depending on the day, I'll be like, "Oh gosh, I only have 2 minutes," because you're so used to like checking your phone and listening for other people or getting in the car or whatever. But the longer you can do it, if you sit for 10 minutes, by the time you hit that 10-minute mark, sometimes you're sitting there like, "Can I do 5 more minutes? Maybe I can do 5 more minutes," you know?
You probably want
Depends.
to.
Yeah, it depends on what's going on around you. I mean, unless there's like some hiker that's,
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, this is a great segue right now. What is your offer for my audience today?
So I'm putting on a retreat, a rewilding retreat. It's the third, I believe it's the third week of April. It's on my website. 3-day in-person rewilding retreat. Now it is in Connecticut, so you would have to get here, but everything else is covered. So we're going to be going into the forest, and we're going to be identifying plants and picking wild foods, eating wild foods, experiencing wild foods, picking some and bringing them back and making herbal medicines with them. I'm going to show you how I do all of these things. And I have a successful herbal products business, so I know what I'm doing. Um, I'm going to teach you in such a way that you'll be able to absorb it. You'll figure it out. We're also the wild foods. I'm going to teach you how to cook these things. It's not just you sit back and relax and do it all. No, you're going to be learning on this retreat.
Let
This is teaching you how to do all the things I do and incorporate this into your life.
done.
Um,
Yeah.
in addition to that, for the whole 3 days, we're going to be only eating healthy whole foods. So
Hmm.
the reason I wanted it to be at least 3 days is because whatever foods you've been eating, I don't care how healthy you think you're eating, it's going to stay in your system for at least 48 hours. So when you've been eating the real whole foods, grass fed wild foods and things like that, um, your body is going to start feeling better by day 3. Like
Yes.
by the time you leave, you're going to be saying, "Holy cow! Not only do I feel better, I know what it feels like to feel better. So I know what sensations I'm looking for in my body, and I know which foods I should be eating that are going to make me feel this way. And not only do I know how to cook those foods, but I also know how to wild forage some of these foods.
This
So I
sounds
can
like
do all of this together."
yeah, this sounds like a wonderful retreat. Now you can get her retreat at bit.ly, that's bit.ly/rewilding, wild, WILDING retreat. And it sounds like a fabulous time. So I love your offer. Do you plan to be a guest on my show again?
Sure. Yeah,
Okay,
anytime.
great. I'll have you back. Please stick around for closing remarks, okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, remember, I do revitalize people's lives in many different areas of health and mindset. I do help you with your overall health, the gut, the heart, the bone and joints, or whatever, by guiding you to clean, toxic-free foods and high-quality essential nutrient products that will reduce symptoms. You'll feel better, possibly lose weight, and it'll uplift your mood. With my mindset coaching, I help you reshape your core beliefs, release emotions, stress, and attainments from the past. Your mindset will be enhanced. Of course, my health optimization and weight release, your body be more efficient. Ask me about my programs at my complimentary consultation button of my link tree at Debi Changes Lives. DebiChangesLiv is in victory. es.com/linktree. And there you get to know me, I get to know you, and I'll guide you to your optimal health. And it begins with 1 or 2 assessments. The first one is the health evaluation, which is actually complimentary, where you're going to rate your symptoms in 4 categories of health. You can go to the next slide. And some questions are repeated in different categories. You'll get a score. I'll review it with you. And when you move forward with my services, I'll create a custom natural holistic strategy for you, and we monitor this on a monthly basis. Now, I also have 2 different body Zyto scans. I really prefer to use this because it gives me an idea of your emotional state, and this does cost you money, though. Zytolink is something I prefer out of the 2 because I can send it remotely and internationally. Zytolink is a transdermal optical imaging app that I send to your phone. It scans your face only for blood flow for components of energetic, functional, emotional, and different body systems and lifestyles. And it creates a wellness report, not a diagnosis, of biomarkers out of range and products and services that bring it back into range. I do review it with you because it's quite intensive, and it costs $75. Now, transdermal optical imaging, also known as TOI, is what Zytolink uses, and you can look that up on pubmed.gov, pubmed.gov, for its accuracy. I do have a package of 5 scans where you can save $50. It's called the Family Pack. People are really amazed what their body says, in this scan, and you'll be too. Curious? Get your first one to see what they're all amazed about. And as well, I have my programs on the site. Take Your Body Back is a 12-week weight release mindset coaching program where you can utilize a new version of you to drive your success. And all coaching is done on Zoom, but the first one's always private to you because I go over your health analysis. I also give you a choice between 2 meal plans and directions on 1. I also give you instructions how to create that new you that's going to drive you to success. Because it'll drive your emotion and passion to achieve your health and weight transformation goals throughout your journey. The rest of the coaching, whether it's group or private, is the same. We celebrate your wins, and I guide you over gaps with health and mindset tips. You will become a new you. And you're welcome to ask me questions on my consultation, as well as watch a previous episode, Holistic Self-Love. For more details on this program, just remember the price has gone up. Why fast is an intermittent fasting program that gets your cells and body humming and turn precision metabolism with high-dense nutrition and high-quality essential nutrients and a program of exercises and recipes. Remember, fasting repairs your cells, brings down inflammation, as well as it cleans out the trash in a way. And when okay, wait a minute. We'll answer that question later. Plus, you can, if you need some coaching, and you can ask me questions about this program. And if you need some coaching, you can purchase a 2 or 4 week program to get going, and you can purchase weeks as you need. You can also use smaller programs for mindset enhancement and health optimization. And but truly, those are longer term journeys, and you may want to purchase a larger package to save money, or I can create a custom program for you. For a limited time, I have Debi's Coaching Chest, which is a 30-minute complimentary coaching session in an intimate group setting. It's not recorded. You'll learn how to optimize your body, ways to release stress and emotions, efficiently release weight, how to harmonize your hormones for body balance, creating winning mindset, utilize that mindset for health and weight transformations, and create that avatar board that'll drive you with emotion and passion to achieve your health and weight transformation goals throughout your journey. These meetings are on Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and you need to register for it. And you have to do that at Debi Changes Lives. Again, that's DebiChangesLive as in victory, es.com/chats. And then you'll know what my coaching is all about. Finally, learn more about alternative health with services, programs, products, articles, blogs, upcoming shows, events, and promos. And you can also, I'll give you a gift of a 30-day health and mindset journal where you can track your gratitudes, thoughts, feelings, emotions, the foods you ate, the water you drank, the nutritional products you took, and the exercises you do on a daily basis. as well as you can even track your measurements. Then you want to review it on a daily, monthly, weekly basis to see your wins and celebrate them. Find your gaps to work on. If you need help bridging that gap, contact me for coaching. This is a great health and mindset awareness tool. I am certain that you found this show educational, eye-opening, and enlightening. Reach out to me for my services, products, and programs and offers, and reach out to Amelia regarding her retreat and her products. Do we have time for Amelia to come back?
I'm still here.
Yeah, one question came up, and that's why I got a little bit interrupted.
Yeah.
When is your retreat?
It is April 18th through 20th. So, let me just 18, 19, and 20. So, it's a 3-day retreat. Again, it starts at like Friday afternoon. Anybody that wants to get a ticket, you can find me on my website, herbalremediesbyamelia.com. You can send me a
Yeah, you can
message.
go to that bit.ly link
Yeah.
and you can get a ticket for that. So it's bit.ly reviling retreat. So thank you for being on my show, and you're so informative.
Thank you.
And I love to have you back. We are running out of time though. So is there something quick you can say?
Food is medicine. Eat real food. Get your butt in the forest and barefoot all the time.
Perfect. Okay. Continue to enjoy my radio and TV show, Debi Changes Lives, on Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, where your holistic journey begins.